Don't look under the internet.
Hell
We're
yeah.
recording now. Hello.
Can you do things,
Oh,
stupid?
wait, hold on. All right.
Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to your mom's favorite show. Don't look under the internet. I guess a parent's favorite show. This is definitely a
I can
parent's
tell
show.
you this is not my mom's favorite show.
This is one of our mom's favorite shows.
Judging by like our age, like variance on like Spotify and shit like that of who's listening. This is definitely not, I guess, your parents' show. This is more of your annoying little brother's show.
Yeah.
Um,
Some of you need to get permission from your parents to listen to this show.
yeah, because
A
we
lot of
say
people.
things like "fuck"
Most
Or
most-
Jizzard.
or "jizzard."
which again is the abbreviation of Jizz Wizard.
Yeah, which
We are
if you needed to-
educational as well.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. On this podcast, Don't Look Under the Internet, we're an internet horror comedy podcast.
Woo!
And we do it just as well as you would expect. I'm here with my co-host as usual, Jason.
I don't think so.
My other co-host as usual, Doug.
Hey, hi.
My other co-host as usual, Matt.
I do it just as well as you would expect.
And I am the other co-host, Mike. I need to get back. I'm trying to go for like a retro thing. Like, I'm not trying to go for it now, but I want to get back into like a retro thing of like getting the fucking like puns back. Remember when I had the whole
You gotta
like
bring
I was
TMZ
doing
back, bro.
Yeah, I was
TMZ,
gonna-
yeah, that's what I mean. I miss my TMZ
You
stuff.
stopped doing TMZ because you were killing people, but I'm thinking we can actually
Right.
use this use this power for good. So
Really, only one person to housekeep here. Thought that was a Matt thing. It wasn't. It was
Nope.
my daughter.
Is it Matt or Amelia?
Wait, your daughter hit the floor?
She does it constantly. She's 2. We have a couple on
She
our.
hit the second tower.
let the
We have a
toddlers
couple.
hit the
A couple.
let the toddlers-
Got a couple patrons to shout out. Patreon.com/DelulyPod. Sign up and I will say your name out loud. Like these people. We have Gary Busey's butthole. Thank you,
They're getting
Gary
smarter.
Busey.
They're getting smarter. They understand they understand the assignment now.
Simon is down there, I think.
That's a good one. I like that.
Thank
one.
you, Gary Busey.
Have you ever seen that fake interview? It's like an hour long where the guy like deep fakes Gary Busey's face on himself. It's so
No.
fucking funny.
Yeah, I've seen that. Is that the one where he's talking about the hot dogs and shit? And like, oh my god. Yeah.
I hate
That's
seen
fun.
this. I have not seen this.
You'd like it, Mike. That's like right up your fucking alley.
Yeah,
Hell
I don't
yeah.
even remember what it's called or who did it or anything, but we got to find it because you would find that funny.
Hell yeah. We'll look it up
It's
after
like
the
a
show.
pussy deep fake.
We also have Murray Malone.
Murray Malone.
Murray Malone, which is kind of a cool
Didn't
name.
understand the assignment, but all right.
And then we have Diana Tempest. Kind of a cold name, I'm not gonna lie. If you put Tempest
That's
into
the name
most
of an
names,
X-Men, I'm pretty sure.
it does sound like
like-
an X-Men that can make cyclones or something.
Oh, like Storm's like Kirkland brand. Kirkland brand Storm. I'm sorry if that's offensive to anybody
Diana.
anyway, but
Diana Tempest. Those are the 3 names I wanted to shout out. Thank you. And if you want to be shouted out, again, go to patreon.com/DelulyPod or Deludy.com and sign up and become a member. What are you waiting for? Is it because you have no money? Listen, is it because you have no money? Don't worry. The tariffs aren't hitting
Diluted.
the Deludy
To be
unless
fair,
we decide they do. It's really up to me if I want to jack the prices up or not.
you could just say that we've been hit with the nation of Deludistan has been hit with 128% tariff.
Yeah, exactly. The nation Deludy stands under some hard times. He's Trump hit us with some tariffs on pristine
They
entertainment.
put a
so-
69% tariff on
Yeah.
it.
What about tariffs on buttered sausage? We're talking about buttered sausage.
I put that video in the chat, by the way.
Oh
Awesome.
hell yeah! I'll look it up. Boys, I feel like we're drowning in good times tonight.
God
I feel
damn
like.
it.
Am I right? I think we're drowning in good times tonight. Oh, that concludes housekeeping. We're drowning in good times tonight. You know,
are we drowning in good times?
We're drowning in
I
good
think we might be drowning in good times tonight, guys.
I think,
You know what? You said it, and then at first it didn't register, and now I hate it even more.
You know, there's other
Keep
people
going.
that are drowning, and they're of the Jesus
Those people might
Christ-esque
be gods.
variety.
What?
Man,
I'm talking about a
Metronet's really pulling through right now.
It's working, right?
Butternet.
Buttered sausage. nut.
I'm talking about a drowned god, if you will.
Just one.
One might
Or
say.
two. I don't know.
Maybe
I-
3. Who knows?
Who knows? I never finished the game. I mean, it might not be a game. Who knows? We'll get there.
Rip that Band-Aid off real quick. Cheers, Doug.
Yeah, we're talking about Drowned God tonight, which is something that Doug brought to our attention and was nice enough to make the outline, so I didn't have to. I had a week off, which was really cool. Doug, is there anything you want to mention about this before we get too deep into the woods?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, actually, I wanted to pull up this fucking Facebook group. Keep talking for a second.
Is it Clown Girl Honk Heaven?
It is not. It's
unacceptable.
fuck.
Oh, this is
Hold on.
embarrassing. You were not prepared for this at all.
No, this just came into my head, and you mentioned it. Anyways, it's the aesthetic of this game is what I'm trying to look for. There's a word for it, and I cannot remember what it's called. But I'm in
Did
a
you just say
Facebook group.
aesthetic?
Aesthetic.
Aesthetic.
It's just aesthetic,
don't know.
homie.
Whatever. It's fine. But yeah, I'm in a Facebook group for this certain look of things. If that fits you better, Mike.
Like Mist, Riven, like those kind of surreal, semi-real.
But it also goes to like all those like old school like
Yeah.
videos and book covers and like shit like
Yeah.
that. And I fucking cannot remember the name of it, but
Find that for me, because I was just talking to our buddy Robbie about how this specific like art style is like
I'm
my all-time
telling
favorite.
you.
I
Vaporwave
love
is
that.
what
Telling
it's
you.
called?
No.
That's like a whole
Is it feng shui?
Again, if you can keep talking, Mike, I can definitely look it up. But
Stall.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'll look it up later. But yeah, this game follows like that category of stuff like really, really well. I'm sure Matt will put up some like images from it and whatnot. But
I'm sure he won't. I'm playing.
Nah, I got
Probably- probably won't.
I'm gonna.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck you, Doug.
Oh, you know what I just
Um,
noticed? Not to get too off topic, but fucking cum moaners is in the Discord.
Oh,
The jizz whalers, the cum
the
moaners.
original Jizz Wizard.
Yeah.
did I see something about that getting changed, or did we talk about that already?
Yeah,
I
no,
swear
they
to God, I
changed it
think they
from-
just changed
it from jizz to like it is just like jazz now or something.
That's
That's
great,
fucking-
Mike.
We all know.
Woke
We
George
know shit.
Lucas is
Yeah.
changing Star Wars once again.
Jesus
erasing our
Christ.
history.
Yeah,
But
straight
yeah,
up.
so Drown God, while Doug spends too much time looking at this thing,
Yes,
it's
please.
a basically this
Oh, I
video
found it.
game. Oh, good.
Utopian
God, I have
Scholastic
nothing.
Designs. Utopian Scholastic Designs.
Oh,
is what
that's
it's
fun.
called. It's
That's a fun vibe.
that's all I got.
So you're talking about like the art style of like what like those reflective like trapper keepers,
Hell yeah.
Yeah, like
Like
you
a
know,
Lisa
there was-
Renee and shit.
yeah, like the thumbnail of our last YouTube video.
Yeah, kind of. It's just like weird shit like that. If you just look that up on Facebook, you'll find the group that I'm probably talking about. But either way, yeah. But Mike, go ahead. I cut you off.
I literally was just trying to
Buy
wrap
time,
something together
thank
for
you.
time. Yes, please talk more.
All right, cool. We'll go straight into it then.
Hell yeah, brother.
So, Drowned God is a video game, as we mentioned. It was released in 1996, and it's called Drowned God: Conspiracy of the Ages. And it's a surreal point-and-click adventure game that explores some of the darkest and most creative conspiracy theories that are just interwoven into the game. It's developed by Inscape and created by a man named Harry Horse, which is a really weird name
It's a
to
good ass name.
rename
great name.
yourself, but we'll go over that later.
Come on,
Sure
Doug.
will.
You can't even pretend.
I got that hairy horse, brother. So again, this game was pretty unique, even I don't know, guess considering like for other games in the 90s. But on the surface, it kind of looks like a cousin of Myst, first person puzzle heavy exploration game. But it's really ambitious attempt to stitch together everything from ancient aliens, lost civilizations, secret societies, and occult rituals.
My guy
And,
watched the History Channel and was like,
All of
let's
it.
fucking all of it condensed.
But yeah, it's pretty much a game that is a reimagining or a retelling or maybe even the real version of human history. And it's pretty interesting, to say the least. So the premise of it is that, we're looking at a fictional conspiracy that is basically rewriting human history as you know it, that we did not evolve naturally and that we were probably created from extraterrestrial beings. The truth is being deliberately hidden by secret societies, and you kind of play through as an unnamed protagonist who receives this mysterious letter from a man named Moses. And the letter claims that this history as we know it's a lie, and then enclosed is a manuscript filled with all these like strange symbols and warnings about a cosmic truth long buried. And basically this journey takes you through 4 distinct realms over 3 CDs. Atlantis.
That's a lot of RAM.
Hey man,
Yeah.
what was it? Riven was 9 CDs.
How many floppies is it if I get it on floppy?
It's 149 floppies if you want it. That's the deluxe edition. But yeah, so you go through some different realms. A lot of this story is based off of Atlantis and like the lost civilization and ancient tech and all that shit. You'll go through Nazi occult bases, Victorian dreamscapes. It's always Nazis. They had such a big, I'll go over it in a second, but they had such a big, like, Nazis were so mystified and like with fucking like wizardry and like warlocks and like all that shit. It's really fucking weird. But yeah, you'll go through that, Victorian dreamscapes and dystopian cyber futures. All of these things are blending like spiritualism, steampunk, philosophy, alien tech, magic, artifacts, lost civilizations, all this crazy shit. And you get a bunch of history about like the Knights Templar, I'm going to butcher this, Rosicrucians. I'm not super familiar with that, but, and then the Thule Society, which is the whole fucking Nazi wizard thing. And then like all this. Yeah, I actually meant to look that up and I totally didn't. So that's
a Jamaican
on me,
crab.
Bobsled team actually. But yeah, so you get some really weird shit out of this game, and it's just we played a bit together.
You'll never
and it's rough. I'll tell you, it's rough.
Bring friends. Bring a couple friends that you can shoot the shit with.
Sure. Yeah, because otherwise it's just you and your thoughts, and that's not great.
Your thoughts, and Nazis.
Yeah. But yeah, so the gameplay style, it's a first-person exploration. You navigate pre-rendered environments. It's pretty detailed, actually. I mean, for what they were working with in the 90s, it looks. I say good, but like obviously it's like shitty graphics, but it looked nice for then, I should say. There's a lot of like motion video, like full motion video use that they use where like you can tell they've fully rendered out long videos for storytelling purposes, right? There's lots of puzzles. The atmosphere is like very dark and haunting, and there's like a really weird transient like soundtrack happening in the background, and it's very, it doesn't really help you. It doesn't hold your hand at all. You're just kind of stuck in this weird planet realm thing, trying to find your way through. But there's a really good storytelling to it. There's a lot of details, and there's a lot of actual like reading and, watching and like actually getting a storyline from it, instead of just like you running around doing nothing. So that's really the basics of the game. Because we were playing the game, we weren't trying to go too deep into what's inside of the game. Like, we're going to talk about it, but we weren't trying to deep dive it. And then life happened and we lost the whole first part of our video. So
there was a point.
We'll see what happens.
There's a point. There's a point while playing that game where we literally, Jason was just reading off Google.
Oh yeah.
Okay, do this next. Okay, do that.
100%.
All right, now
my God,
we
we had
strategy
to.
guide is what you needed.
Dude, you need I will tell you, if you ever want to play this game, it is almost required to have some strategy guide.
Unless you have 5 years of your life that you just don't fucking care about.
Unless you're the
you're just
biggest
autistic.
motherfucker on the planet, unless you're Rain Man mixed with fucking, I don't know, Dexter, you need some form of
Sherlock
instruction.
Holmes, I guess.
Sherlock Holmes, you need an instruction manual.
So I I was looking at buying this game on eBay, and in the pictures of the listing that I saw, the actual book inside of the game, is like just a notebook.
That's
like
what
that you're supposed to like take notes.
Take notes.
You know, I'm not surprised a lot of old games did that.
The very back of that notebook has all the answers.
yes, they give you that.
Really?
They give you all the puzzle guides in the back of the book. Yeah,
that's
they
Bob.
don't like spell out the answer. Be like, go here and put this in. Like it tells you how to figure it out, and then you can do it. But
I do have a bunch of like occult examples that I can go over a little later, but I think we can bring it on to our next section here, if you'd like, Matt.
Yeah, so shouts out to the One Nostalgic on YouTube, the number one Nostalgic, who's like Let's Play I've been showing throughout this. They have like a whole beginning to end Let's Play recorded, so go check that out if you actually
and
wanna
we're
see the
re-uploading
game.
that.
Yeah,
Take their views.
it's called Fair Use, Mike. This is reaction. This is reaction content.
That's a reaction.
So when this game came out, it was actually one of the best-selling video games in the U.S. For the first couple months after it came out. I guess it was really buggy at the time. Some people complained that's like hurt sales for a little bit because the support wasn't very good, I guess. The actual critical reaction to the game was pretty mixed. So some people were super into it because of like, it does have this like pretty interesting otherworldly atmosphere. A lot of critics praised that. One person said that it was the strangest, creepiest, and most psychedelic adventure game that they'd yet to come across. But other people complained that it was just like way too confusing, which if you don't have those answers, I mean, the issue that I see with it is like a lot of the puzzles are just because. Like, there's definitely parts where you just have to, like, click on things and be like, oh, this thing moves, rather than, like, any actual logical step from A to B to C. So people complained about that. People complained that there was just, like, way too much going on and that they were trying to cram too much stuff into it, which I think those people just didn't see the vision, man. I think that's the issue here. And I think the people that couldn't figure it out, they were just too stupid. And then there were people who just said that the game was like way too tedious, which I think.
Yep.
I think that I probably agree with that. I don't like games that are just like basically just to frustrate you, which I feel like some of the puzzles here are meant to just frustrate you.
The Isaac Newton Albert Einstein puzzle. Fucking specific. Sorry.
Yeah, fuck that puzzle. So stupid.
Yeah, so basically it just kind of, it was a little bit too ambitious and tried to cram too much in, and it suffered because of that. There was a lot of content that had to be cut, and Harry Horse himself said that the game was actually incomplete and that there was a longer story and that the rest of the story would be released in a sequel called Cult, but that never happened. There was some content that was apparently developed for the sequel, but any of that content that still exists now belongs to Harry's relatives, and we'll get more into why that is later. The game kind of has come back into the spotlight a little bit in recent years because there have been a lot of YouTube videos about it and about the events surrounding the game itself. But even before that happened, the game did have a little bit of a cult following. You can go back and find old Reddit posts and stuff where people talk about trying to get the original version of the game to run on modern hardware, which I guess is a bit of a challenge. And then I found a PC Gamer article, which is actually a really interesting read. If you can go find that, just like put in PC Gamer and Drowned God. But there's some interviews with the different developers that were on the development team at the time, and one of them said that like even years after the release of the game, even though he doesn't even make video games anymore, people would track him down and contact him and be like, hey, is there ever a sequel to this game coming out? And he'd be like, no, it's never happening, sorry.
Give me Drowned God, Tokyo Drift. Come on now.
He actually stated it as people contacting him from their bunkers, which I think is a little bit of insight into the type of person who may be really interested.
I just say, if you're playing this game, that sounds about right.
That makes so much fucking sense.
The sequel's called
Cult.
Breathing Man.
Touch Grass, the game.
Man. Radiation. The game was eventually re-released in June of last year, so almost exactly a year ago on the Epic Game Store, so you can actually just go buy the game now. But unfortunately, when that happened, they pulled down all of the archives of the original version of the game that were easy to find. Before that happened, you could go find this on the Internet Archive or abandonware.org pretty easily, but those aren't there anymore. But
well, that's disappointing.
I think the game is like $16 or something like
Now,
that.
if I were to visit the Abandonware site on a web archive,
is there more to that sentence?
would that work, or
I don't know, because the links,
because
archive.org it'll archive a whole web page, but a lot of times like links to files don't actually work. So
okay,
I didn't try that.
Huh. Worth
so you can't Wayback Machine it.
Yeah, Wayback Machine of the Abandonware archive.
Yeah,
actually, when Drowned God was not for sale on Steam. It's so fucking specific.
I don't know. Try that out. So yeah, that's pretty much all I got on the background of the release of the game.
Hell yeah. I am not kidding. If you guys do end up going to scoop this and you get to a room that shows Isaac Newton and fucking Albert Einstein, strap the fuck in.
Yeah.
You're gonna
what
be
you're
there
seeing
for
right now in the video, or we're just seeing, I guess I should say, was the worst puzzle ever
that we came across.
That so far.
Yeah. In disc 1.
Yeah. Now,
oh my god.
Doug mentioned my boy Harry Horse. And let me tell you, did you know, Doug, his name ain't Harry Horse?
I did, Mike. Thank you for asking.
Well, golly. Well, golly.
What just happened?
I don't know.
I'm literally sitting like over here, and Mike's just like, I need the whole table.
The camera's not on me. It's not on anybody.
I just want a place to put my drink, man. That's all I need.
So Harry Horse was actually born Richard Horne in May of 1960.
Richard Horse.
Dick Horse.
Oh my god.
We found it.
We got there.
Richard, or Harry, whatever you want to call him, was raised on a farm in Coventry, which I have no idea where Coventry is.
That's not a real place.
I'm starting to think this man is actually a horse.
He might raised on a farm.
Grass-fed from the time it was a short full.
All the telltale signs are there. He might be horse.
That would
he might be equestrian.
That would really play into the conspiracies about what happens later, seeing as he wouldn't have any opposable thumbs.
There's a whole layer to this that we didn't consider.
You think he goes by he horse?
No, it's he ha, and that's a donkey, Doug.
Oh, sorry, you're right.
God,
that's my bad. I was being ignorant.
So,
go ahead, Mike.
I don't know. If
Carry on whenever you feel like you're ready.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So he was born on a farm in Coventry. His mother would often tell him stories that there were polar bears that would always go marauding around the nearby woods. Obviously, didn't happen because he was not born in the Arctic. So he went to his mom and was just like, "There's no polar bears around here." And that's when apparently this family must be either really boring or really weird, because there was a family phrase that came out of this that was just, "There aren't any polar bears here." And apparently that quote stuck with the family for generations.
What the fuck?
Everything that Mike is reading sounds just completely made up.
I know.
It's like when a kid asks for a bedtime story and you don't actually have a book. So you're just like, they're polar bears, and
his document's blank. There's no word.
I actually pulled this from the Ascensions glossary.
He's just reading an Ascensions.
Jesus Christ. Welcome to Ashland's birthday.
Oh, God.
When Harry was 10, he moved with his 3 sisters. They moved on to another farm where he basically this is when he started becoming a storyteller. But he would always tell stories to his sisters about how Santa Claus would visit their farm with the reindeer. I believe they dubbed their farm Reindeer Farm just because of that. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no critical thinking going on in this family.
When he was in school in Rugby, so I'm assuming this guy's from England. Here's the thing. I pulled all of this
or Australia.
I pulled all this from
He's very much from England.
Yeah, I pulled all this from the Harry House website, which was harryhouse.co/UK. Horse, yeah, not house.
Harry House. Eventually it's going to be like Hubert Humper.
Yeah. So I pulled all this from the website. It didn't tell me where specifically in England, but I'm assuming it's the UK because
Coventry, Warwickshire.
There we go. Yes. Doesn't get more English than that.
Sauce or...
Yeah, you're pronouncing it wrong.
So when he was in school, a professor at this school mistakenly gave him the last name Horse instead of Horn during a registration. And let me tell you, Richard got obsessed with this. He's like,
I'm a horse.
Bro, you just gave me a pseudonym. Thick. He's just like, my new synonym, horse. You just gave me a horse for a name.
Horse.
At the age of 13, he developed a love for cricket, a little sticky wicket of cricket. And he even won a school art prize while he was at school.
I don't know why I thought there was a segue there, but there...
Nope. No segues here.
Speaking of horses, he played cricket.
He played cricket.
Loved it.
Yeah.
Speaking of polo, he was actually a cricket.
That's polo.
It was a sport with horse.
God.
So,
which is not cricket.
No, but it's close. It's horse. In boarding school, while in this boarding school, he was apparently a very interesting boy. To quote him, "That was the making of me, for all the wrong reasons." He noted that he noted this in an interview while talking about how he would go forging school passes for kids.
Nice.
He would hide things under the school floorboards, and he would do other rebellious acts because it was fun to do. He was basically having a fucking Goonies moment. I feel,
fair.
you know,
He was gooning.
He's
doing a little gooning hard.
Um,
We all had that rebellious stage where we thought wearing black, like, ha, fuck you.
I'm goth now.
Yep.
Because I'm wearing a black hoodie. Later in life, after school, when he grew up and became a man at the age of like 19, he started working as a when he decided to hit the tracks running. He worked as a solicitor for court cases. During this time as a solicitor, he spent most of his time, instead of paying attention to the court cases, just doodling and drawing away. It was at this time he was getting bored of his life choices. He was like, man, what the fuck do? I got to make a decision on what I do for my life.
Oh my God, this is spot on for this individual.
Right. So at the age of 19, by a literal flip of a coin, he made the decision about what to do with his life. Heads, he would move to London, or tails, Edinburgh. He got tails. In 1981 in Scotland, pretending to be his own agent, he successfully landed a job working with Canongate Publishing.
Pretending to be his own agent?
Yeah, so I
don't think you have to pretend.
He applied for this place.
Myself.
He applied for this place originally, and they denied him. So then he called up numerous times pretending to be his agent, saying, "This kid's gonna be a star. You want him to be in here.
This is a job for you.
I know, right?
You would be great at this job.
This kid's gonna be a star." And so they were finally like, "Oh shit, maybe this kid's got an agent. Maybe we actually should, hire him on." Literally knows him. But yeah, so he landed the job because of faking it. Fake it till you make it. If that's one thing you take away from this, then let it. His artistic works back in his heyday. He started his work in the 1980s doing illustrations for Magus the Lollipop Man, which apparently this and Baby Cop. Apparently, Magus the Lollipop Man was a very successful novel at the time. And so was the other book that he was working on, The Good Golf Guide to Scotland, which was actually introduced by one Sean Connery.
That's insane.
Yeah. In 1986, he also illustrated a very successful version of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. So he was doing work. He was doing illustration work like pretty regularly.
Well, I mean, there's definitely a theme here.
Mm-hmm.
It's things that are wildly not real.
Right. The theme is, I made it up. Didn't happen. He went on at this point to also do children's books. His most popular was The Ogopogo, My Journey with the Loch Ness Monster. And it earned him a Scottish Arts Council book award.
Oh.
Yeah. It's actually a very popular book. Apparently, it's sold a lot of copies.
What do you think it cost?
Oh,
in Scotland, I don't know, a fucking Tree Fitty. Yeah, goddamn it, yeah. That would be it.
He walked you to the edge of that one and said, "Here you go, Mike. All you gotta do is jump." And you're like, "What?"
Fell back. He also went
like, I don't know, maybe like £10 or something. Like
I don't know what kind of money they have in Scotland, Doug. I have him.
He also
a doubloon.
A doubloon.
That's Spanish. He also did a series of books called The Last ... which was a series of again pretty successful books that he created. His most his most famous was The Last Polar Bears. Harkening back,
we're back.
Harkening back to the.
But there aren't
bears.
any polar bears here.
Aren't no polar bears here. This
is insane.
This was turned into a TV film with Nigel Hawthorne as a narrator. And
fucking Martin Freeman.
Martin Freeman did the honors for his other book, The Last Cowboys, which was featured on the show. Go ahead.
Nigel Thornberry.
Yeah, that's Nigel Hawthorne. I forgot who Nigel Hawthorne is. Let me look it up real quick.
I was so hoping you would just say Thornberry.
Nigel Hawthorne's an actor. Sir, he's been sirred.
Oh, Sir Nigel Thornberry.
Yeah.
Well, when you get sirred.
Oh, he was in Demolition Man. That's nice.
Oh my God. I was driving this car and all of a sudden it turned into a cannoli.
That might be him.
No, that was Sylvester Stallone.
Oh, okay. Anyway,
completely different movie.
I've seen Demolition Man way too many times.
Never seen it.
Proud of.
So, like I mentioned, Martin Freeman, who we all know Martin Freeman, also did the honors for The Last Cowboys, which was featured on the show Jackanory Jr.
What does that mean?
I don't know, but it sounds Australian, even though it's a Scottish thing. Jackanory Jr., I believe, was a children's TV show. Kind of like a Nickelodeon.
Oh,
type
okay.
Yeah.
So there's one named Jackanory.
Jackanory Jr.
Jackanory Jr.
Yeah.
Okay.
In 1990, he developed more children's books, this time based off of his dog, Roo. This work led him to get a job as a political cartoonist in Scotland on Sunday, which was a newspaper that he spent 6 years at as a political cartoonist. Very good political cartoons.
This guy's a solid fucking career.
Yeah.
Very
yeah. Seriously.
History.
He even went on to do political cartoons for The Independent, The Guardian, and that says Tykes. I don't think that's right. The Times. It's Times. And Times and Telegraph.
For little Tykes.
Yeah.
Little Tykes.
Political cartoons.
He wanted to do political cartoons for The Toy from the movie The Toy.
Mom says you can have graham crackers. Dad says you can't. Vote Mom.
His final drawings were with the Sunday Herald in Glasgow. Glasgow, however you pronounce it. I'm not Scottish, really. But the dude had a very successful the life here.
This does not sound like you're about to launch into one of our normal topips. It sounds like you're about.
I was just Harry Horse. My bad.
How is he even drawing? He's got hooves.
God damn it! No, it literally just sounds like you're just describing this man's accolades and telling everyone that's listening, look at this amazing individual.
Yeah.
That's the rest of the story, though, right?
Yep. So he also has a musical side to him, which is fun.
Oh my God!
In 1987, Horse helped. That's a sentence I didn't. But I typed it. In 1987, Horst helped start the 8-person bluegrass band Swamp Trash.
Hell
yeah.
Horst was on the banjo, the fiddle, and lead vocals. I think
all three.
I think it didn't really make it too clear, if I'm being honest.
Okay,
but I believe he did all three.
The band took on one of those guys busking, right, with the spoons,
yeah. And
I had a segment. I'm so sorry to derail this. I had a fucking segment in middle school. I will never forget this, where we learned to play the washboard, the makeshift banjo, and the spoons. Looking back, I'm like, why? Right. But at the time, I'm like, oh yeah, we're learning music. But now I look back, I'm like, what?
Weren't you born on an island?
Yeah, but I also live here now.
Back to what I was saying.
How about that?
So Harriet, like I mentioned, was on the banjo, the fiddle, and the lead vocals, I believe. The band took on this weird American persona. They called themselves the Miseries from Missouri. Remember, this is a bunch of Scottish dudes.
Mm-hmm.
They also blended Cajun and hillbilly with bluegrass. Again,
Okay.
bunch of Scottish dudes. 4 members of Swamp Trash went on to form the band Shuglanifty.
Is it?
Shuglanifty,
Yeah,
which is a Celtic fusion band who is actually still touring to this day and is moderately successful.
Editor, can we throw that in there right here?
Shuglanifty.
Nifty. All right, thank you.
Oh, she sugared on my nifty till
Till I
miseried.
Oh God.
In 1989, my last bit. In 1989, while performing with his band Swamp Trash, he met a young woman named Mary Williamson, and a year later, they got married.
That's seriously the last thing that you're gonna leave me with before I close this shit out is the happiest day of these people's fucking lives.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you mean?
Well, it's only gonna get happier from here.
That's
right?
why I'm
Yeah.
confused.
It could only get happier. Happier? Mouth
With their
way
mouths
more open.
Way more open. Oh man. I'm guessing you're all done with your section.
Yes, I want you to go.
So this all up until now, this is all sound like super successful life. Found someone he loved, married her, created a video game, has a musical career, has like books published, has worked in design. Like it's crazy. The amount of experience this fucking man has, Harry Horse has, is insane. But I am gonna jump a little forward to about 11 years after the Drowned God Conspiracy of the Ages
Horses
was
can't
released. They should try better.
They also can't look up.
Yeah.
Don't look Harry Horse in the eye. He might kick you.
He might kick you.
And some would call foul play.
Well, speaking of foul play,
Foul play, whatever.
foul would be like birds. In 2007, both Harry Horse and his wife were both found dead in their home.
Womp womp.
How did it happen, Jason?
Unfortunately. Well, originally, and it's actually, this is still a major theory. It's speculated to be an intruder that came and killed both of them for his knowledge on various things, on the Drowned God, on all the conspiracies that happened throughout the ages. A lot of people speculate that. Some people speculate that an actual alien came down to silence Harry Horse because he was giving away too much information and it would put their entire civilization at risk.
Quiet equestrian. Bow.
But no, on January 10th, 2007, Harry Horse's body, along with his wife, Mandy, was found with, I'll say, multiple stab wounds.
It was like 30-something, I think, wasn't it?
I was going to hold on to that, but yeah.
Sorry.
I was going to hold on to that for a sec, but okay. I should know better by this point.
I thought you were like,
God
I
damn
thought
it.
you were playing it up.
Mike.
No, I know. That's more my fault than anybody else's. And so his body was discovered holding his wife, Mandy. And just like Mike had said, Mandy was terminally ill with multiple sclerosis.
Oh, I never said that.
Oh, you didn't go over
Don't
that?
put words in my mouth.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you touched on that.
I covered his artistic values and his band.
Okay,
not his wife's MS.
I thought you touched on that at the very least.
This
So,
guy's wife has a monkey scrotum and he's bragging about it.
what the
Disclaimer, MS is not a joke, and
nor does it stand for monkey
we're only
scrotum.
laughing because we're awkward.
Yeah, that's honestly is what where we're at right now. So
No, I'm just laughing.
so
I'm sorry if you
his wife was
know
diagnosed.
somebody who does, but I'm just laughing.
Sorry if
His
you
wife-
have monkey scrotum.
His wife was diagnosed with MS or multiple sclerosis, or in shorthand, monkey scrotum.
I can't take credit. It's a Family Guy joke
Oh, is it?
from way in the early
shit.
seasons. Yeah.
So they were both found in. See, it says they were found in their bungalow. I really kind of want to know the difference between like a bungalow, like a townhome, or a house, or like a cottage.
Yeah.
Like what the fuck
Isn't
is
a
the
bungalow
difference?
just like a one bedroom, like no second story kind of thing? Like, isn't that just a really basic house?
Like a
The
ranch?
Studio apartment of houses.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
Basically,
Oh, hey, I'm learning shit.
a ranch for our Southwestern people or whatever.
Southern listeners. Mandy was found being held by Harry Horse. Both of them apparently had been stabbed like 30 to 40 times. Also, all of their pets. Apparently, they had Rue. That's right, Rue, and there was another animal. It doesn't
worst
say
part
what,
of this
though.
whole story.
Absolutely. So Horse had stabbed her more than 30 times.
This horse be
This is not this.
This is what I'm saying. No opposable thumbs. How does this work?
Harry Horse stabbed her more than 30 times and then killed their pets before turning the knife on himself, and then both of them bled to death.
How many times was he stabbed?
It does not say. This part doesn't. Hold on, let me find the other article. I have like 5. If I see it in the other one that I'm about to jump to, I'll correct myself. Apparently an actor named Tam Dean Byrne. I have no idea who the fuck that is. Apparently made a radio tribute to him and said in 2009, after speaking with, this is such a wild sentence, after speaking with Horse's female relatives, that a 2008 report was a cruel distortion, is believed that the death was a murder and not a suicide, as there were inconsistencies with the witness testimonies, and the door to his home was open when the bodies were found. Which, yeah, it's suggestive, but I don't know. The final conclusion after going through all the evidence was that this was a murder-suicide, according to authorities. However you want to take that, you can. But a lot more conspiratorial-minded individuals think that this was absolutely a murder, and then covered up by some institution, governmental agency, or something to stop him from continuing to share the information that was in the Drowned God, because he did plan on coming out with a sequel called Cult, and then never got around to doing that. And before he actually could start, it was too much, and then he died. So that's the big event that stopped anything Harry Horse related from coming out, musically, book wise, any conspiratorially, anything like that. So let's talk about right. I have an actual an account of this. Give me 1 sec. I gotta fucking find it. Somebody had the time.
How did we miss the?
Real quick? Did you talk about the suicide pact part of this whole thing? Yeah. So basically, the story goes that they so for the 10 years where she had her MS diagnosis, people noticed that Henry was going like spiraling, like bad. Like he was not doing well because this was the love of his life. He was his muse. She was his muse. Like that was like his reason for living. And basically, if this, like, they were basically said that if when she died, he had no reason to live anymore and that he would die along with her. And so that's a big conspiracy around this whole thing, is that they think that the whole thing is, okay, yeah, they said that they took a bunch of pills and overdosed and died, but the autopsy says much different. There was nothing in his system that would suggest an overdose. Not to mention they clearly died from a bunch of stab wounds. This actually leads into a bunch of other ones.
100%. And actually, there's a post on Reddit that goes over this whole, like, the not only like what's released on by the authorities or like what you can find on Wikipedia or something like that. It also goes over the alternate thought process of the whole thing. And it said, so one of the things in this post says, on the night of January 9th, 2007, Harry snapped. And apparently, like, they had been talking about the success of Drowned God and like thinking about doing another one. And here's what the snippet from one of the articles says. It says, that evening, Harry and Mandy had their last visitors, 2 brothers from New Zealand. As relayed by Williamson, Harry was in a demented state, roaming the house and proclaiming, "It's a wonderful knife. God damn it.
Wonderful knife.
It's a wonderful night for a killing." Mandy was distressed and did not want one of the friends to leave. At 9:40 the next morning, January 10th, the friends came back to retrieve an item of clothing. The front door was unlocked and open, so they pushed it. And inside, they saw the bodies of Harry and Mandy lying close together on Mandy's bed. There was blood on the floor, windows, and walls. Harry, so it proved, had butchered Mandy to death with a knife. By the medical examiner's count, he had stabbed Mandy more than 30 times, fetching a second knife after breaking the first inside her. He then turned the knife on himself, crisscrossing his arms with cuts and mutilating his genitals. 47 wounds in all. The death certificate's record that both died of exsanguination because he'd failed to deliver a lethal blow. Both had bled to death. As a final token of horror, he also killed their dog, a Chihuahua Mandy liked to cuddle, and their cat. The fuck?
Yeah, it's fucking wild.
What the
It should
fuck?
probably also be noted that, like, even way before this happened, basically everyone that he had ever worked with had mentioned that he was generally a really nice guy, but like was prone to just these really strange outbursts of anger that just seemed to come from nowhere. Like he'd just go from like 0 to 100 real fucking fast on like anybody for any reason.
Since we're on the speculation part of this train, I will say that one of the newer conspiracy theories is, do you guys remember that the show on Netflix, Bandersnatch, like the interactive Black Mirror episode?
Yeah, they're taking that down.
Yeah.
Or they took it down.
Yeah, they're taking it down. However, it's a lot of people think that whole experience was literally based off of this story. And if you go through Bandersnatch, it's not too far-fetched. Like you can definitely see it. It's multiple endings.
I haven't gone through it.
Yeah, I've been through it twice, I think, and I could see that. I would need more information about it. But I think that's a cool connection that fucking Bandersnatch literally took this very niche like story
and made something of it
and made a whole interactive web series about it. Does it suck that none of the original members that were this was based off were credited? Absolutely. Does it suck that this story was not shared? Absolutely. Does it suck that this tragedy was not shared with everybody? Also, yes.
I've gone through it, and I can kind of see that there's like a lead developer on the game that is like kind of crazy and does weird shit.
Yep.
It would have to be very loosely based on this.
Loosely based, yes. But like after I read that, I was like, actually, yeah, I can kind of see that.
I think the thing in this whole thing that fucks me up is if he had 30 plus stab wounds to himself, how is
47
consciously doing that to himself?
That was
like,
my thing. Is like
they're small. None of them were lethal.
Well, it said 47 in all. Is that just him or total on him?
It was her. Her was over 30. Himself was over 47.
You know, the thing about this that is weird to me.
Adrenaline's a hell of a drug.
That's weird to me about all this is a fucking horse. You know,
there's no thumb.
We're definitely.
Are you telling me a horse stabbed these people?
I went buck wild. Like,
yeah.
It's a really bizarre story, and we don't typically cover like that kind of shit, but
we like to avoid the real shit.
Yeah, we do, and we also it is sad.
True crime.
We're not true crimers. Feels like a derogatory sentence, but but no, it's the fact that the game is so bizarre and like the story leading up to it's so bizarre, or like I guess not leading up but leading after post.
A very pleasant beginning.
Yeah, it's just all weird. I thought it was a nice little deviance from what we normally talk about, and hopefully maybe potentially we'll have some gameplay up on our YouTube. It might be out of order though, because we're probably not going to replay the beginning.
We'll animate it with stick figures. It'll be great.
Yeah, we'll recap. Although I hear the last half is like way weirder.
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
more weird.
I think that what we went through was pretty fucking normal and tame compared to the rest of the game. I think.
Yeah, I've seen a good handful of the gameplay, and I was like, I didn't see any of that shit. So, yeah.
I also refuse to do the fucking Newton Einstein.
No, I would kill myself before I do that again.
Fucking Christ.
Well, saddle up because we're playing it again. God damn it.
Saddle up, bitches.
At some point. Honestly, I don't really have much else to add to this other than like Doug said, we don't really.
All right, real or fake?
Oh, there we go. Real or fake?
Actually, that's a good question. Do we think that Harry Horse based his game off of a real set of knowledge that he either found, discovered, or was given?
No.
Or do we think the document he used to base all of this stuff off of was forged and fake?
So that's the thing is I forgot to write it down in my bit, but I'll mention it real quick as well.
I also forgot to mention it.
I forget the details specifically, but he created this like book.
It was a manuscript.
A manuscript.
It's a forged manuscript. It was in 1983. He forged this. What this article says forged. He says that he found. It says he forged a manuscript based on writings by 19th century poet Richard Henry Horne,
who he'd be related to,
which is his name.
Yeah. So I think he's just a good author. I mean, he has the background.
A joke was initially or a hoax. Like he wrote this thing and then tried to pass it off as like a legit thing that he found, and then eventually he admitted that it was fake. He was like, "Yeah, I made this up."
Yeah, I don't think it's based off of any wild conspiracy. I think he's just a good storyteller.
Yeah,
was a good storyteller.
I mean, he's basing them off of real conspiracies that are like, obviously the conspiracies themselves are not real or could be real, but like,
also if you look at that game, if you look at that fucking game, none of it really makes any sense. There's a point where when you were playing, you literally teleported through Stonehenge to some weird castle. Oh, yeah. You rode a river.
Is a warp gate point.
Yeah, you rode a river up to some guy who was like an old, like...
who killed you like 5 times.
He was like a Holy Grail King Arthur dude who wanted to play chess, but it was fire chess. Yeah. And then you were in fucking, like, Da Vinci's lair with a robot. Like, I think it was just a bunch of weird shit just thrown together because it was the mid-90s. That's just how games fucking were. Games were just throwing shit at the fan and seeing what sticks.
Not far off.
Honestly, this is the cooler version of history.
Oh yeah, I prefer this.
Real.
Yeah,
real history is a little boring,
right?
Dude, real life is boring. Like this shit's way better.
Give me fucking magic and shit.
Give me
Jizz Wizards.
Give me
Brought it back.
Give me your money at patreon.com/deludedpod or at deluded.com. You can also give me a follow or something. That too, a follow or something. If you go to any of our socials, just check anywhere. We're either deludedpod or Don't Look Under the Internet, everywhere you look. Send us an email at deludedpod@gmail.com. Want to go ahead and shout out to Ghoulish Mortals as per usual and to Undefined Graphics, Mike Lowy, for our graphic needs, and they could be your graphic needs as well if you want to send them an email. Links in our descriptions for everything. Don't send us any mail. We still don't have the key to our P.O. box. I just thought about that.
Fuck.
It's still in the description.
Straight up forgot about that.
Can't believe you guys fucking lost that. I'll just come down and beat your ass.
Watch, we're gonna find it literally after we hang up.
Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and say if you're a horse, you probably shouldn't kill people. Jason, what do you got to say?
I don't know, man. Stay paranoid as always about a man who's coming to find you named Joe Blob.
Be aware of this mare. Matt, what do you got to say?
If you're not a horse, maybe you should kill people.
Have you tried hard?
Doug, what do you have?
Slap your hairy horse against your monkey scrotum.
There it is. Well, you want the whole episode in one sentence? There you go.
There you go. Thank you for tuning in, everybody. Have a blessed day. May the horse be with you. Bye.
That was a good one.
Bye.